Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I'm doing something a little bit different. I am doing my Facebook Live on my phone. And the reason why is because for some reason I don't have internet on my computer like 10 minutes ago. So just wanted to let you know that things do change and we have to adapt to new situations and try to do them less stressfully. Is that a word? Uh, and kind of laugh about it as well. I've always wanted to try this on my phone, so here we go. Shout out to Eve White, who is one of our members and a dear friend. And she had gifted me with this beautiful wool shawl that I'm wearing today. So thank you, Eve. And I wanted to get a shout out also to Miss Patty Birch, one of our Women with Guts members. She shared a story with me about last week when we talked about loneliness and reaching out to other people. She was on a pickleball court with her boyfriend, and they do this like every week. And there was an older man there sitting by himself, and he had all his gear with him, but he was sitting on the sidelines. And Patty, thinking about this man seems lonely and he's by himself and he wasn't talking to anybody, decided to reach out to him and found out that he's been there several times and sits there and has asked to play with other people, and no one has accepted his request to play pickleball with him. Now, this may not sound like a very big deal, but just think about an elderly person who wants to be engaged with others and is sitting on the sidelines all by himself. So Patty and her boyfriend invited him to play with them and also had to teach him the rules because I guess he hadn't played before. So they spent an hour and a half with this man. And I just thought, what a great thing to do. It doesn't take much to reach out to somebody who seems lonely or is definitely lonely and to make their day. So thank you, Patty, for sharing that story. I really appreciate it, and I think it's great that you did reach out to that man. I wanted to also talk to you about a book that just came to my attention again that I read many years ago, and maybe you have too. It's called The 4 Agreements, and it's interesting how it's resurfaced. Just like the other book I mentioned to you, You Can Have It All by Arnold Patent, which is another favorite of mine and a mentor of mine as well. But The 4 Agreements, I have it here actually, was written by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's a little book, and I hope that you have either read it or plan to read it. It's a simple book with just 4 principles, and I thought I would read those principles to you. This is very much of a very quick overview of this paperback book, but I think that the statements are very accurate and helpful and a guide to how we should live our lives. They're simple, but they're not easy to practice on a daily basis. So let me go through them with you. And I think for all of us as women with guts, the more tools that we can learn and the more beneficial techniques and theories and practices that we can incorporate into our daily lives, the better. So the first step, and I'm going to read right from the inside of this book. Okay, in the 4 agreements, the first agreement, it sounds so like easy, like aren't we all doing this? But I don't think we are, not all of us and not all the time. It says be impeccable with your word. It says speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the word to speak against yourself. We've talked about that. Remember our self-talk, staying positive, and not to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. There's a lot of good stuff in that first agreement because our words are power and our words have energy. And we also have to keep our word. When we tell someone we're going to do something, we need to be impeccable with our word. The second agreement of the 4 agreements in this book is, don't take anything personally. Now, I don't know about you. I do. Oh my God. Anything and everything. But I also learned a new technique called Swiss cheese, and I had posted it on our page. And if we could just visualize ourselves as a piece of Swiss cheese with all the holes in it, and anytime somebody tells us something that might not be positive or counterproductive or may hurt our feelings, we just let it go. Let it go through the cheese. Don't let it get stuck. So anyway, but this author talks about not letting anything, we take it personally. And he says, nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune, this is a big one, when you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And how many times do we obsess about something that somebody said to us and question, what did they mean? And I feel bad about what they said. Well, we could learn not to take everything so personally. I'm not saying this is easy, but I like one of these 4 agreements. I like all of them. The third one is, don't make assumptions. And he goes on to say, find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings. There's ways to communicate without hurting somebody's feelings or being overly direct or mean-spirited. So it's very much how we communicate with others. It also says, with just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And it says that when we communicate with others so that we avoid misunderstandings, we also avoid sadness and drama. Especially drama. The 4th agreement in this book, according to Don Miguel Ruiz, is always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you're healthy as opposed to if you're sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So I hope that you enjoyed this quick recap of the 4 agreements. I think it's very helpful, straightforward tips and techniques that we can use on a daily basis to help us stay empowered and positive and to have better communications with our friends and our families and our coworkers and everybody else in the universe. And especially now during these challenging times, I will say. I'll be diplomatically correct. They're just challenging times. We don't know what's going on with the election. We don't know who's going to be president. We don't know how many cases are being reported for COVID-19. We're still safe distancing. We're wearing masks. Don't let everything get to you. Don't try to absorb all that energy because there's only so much that we can control. And what we can control is our own attitude and our energy and how we react to every situation. So I hope these tips were helpful to you today. Please let me know. I'd love to get your feedback, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday at noon. Have a great day. Stay calm, and remember the 4 agreements. Take care. Bye.